different types. Isn't there like, the party, you go to the club stuff, you got your Nas, you got your Little Nas X.
Okay, for sure.
Right? I don't know. What do you make? Are you a mumble rapper?
I like to, I've been mixing it up lately. I've been just trying to do different things lately, so not one in specific.
Well, all right, here.
I've been really getting into the engineering aspect of it.
Okay.
The after effects on the production and shit.
All right. So I'll throw out an artist. Here's I know he was at least quite popular a few years back. I don't know what he is in 2021, but. So what about an artist like Young Thug? How would you describe their skill set, their competency, their lyrical ability, or I guess musical talents? Is that the kind of rap? What do you?
No, I'm not a fan of Young Thug.
Oh, you're not a fan of the Young Thug. Tell us about that.
I just like more intellectual rap. You know what I'm saying?
No, I don't. Continue.
But what he's good at, like the harmonies of it, and that's how they've made good music out of it. But it's just not my style of music. I prefer the more lyricists where they get into deeper metaphors, double entendres, the different rhyme schemes. Like true MCs.
How long have you been in the rap industry?
Let me see. Over 10 years now, I guess. Man, I'm getting old. That's crazy.
Damn, how old are you getting, dude?
Almost 30, bro.
Oh!
Yeah. A couple months.
Yeah, I don't know what that is for the rap game. I mean, if you were like a UFC fighter, I think 30 would mean you're like in your prime, right? I mean, I think 30 is actually most of the primes.
You're probably on your way down at 30, honestly.
Really?
Yeah, in most sports, you're peaking mid to late 20s, and then you start coming down, and then it's quick come down.
Well, how old is like Conor McGregor? Isn't he like 36?
Yeah, and he's been on the decline for the last 5-6 years.
Would you say 5-6 years?
Yeah, I mean, it's been like how long since he was dominating?
I would say that his last.
That was before the Floyd fight. That was at least 4 years ago.
But I would say that he not only did he generate a large amount of money for this fight, but the Cowboy. I don't know. I think you were locked up at the time. He fought Cowboy.
Yeah, I saw that in there.
Yeah, bro. He dominated the fuck out of Cowboy.
I know, but that's what Cowboy was put in there for, was to get whooped and hype up McGregor for like a real fight.
Oh damn! How old is Cowboy? What, 52, 58?
I don't know.
That man was old. It looked like he was fighting his daddy in there, dude. He looked old.
It was like a very short fight.
But that shoulder roller that he hit him with was something I've never seen. That was wild. But, okay, all right. What about, fucking, what's his name? I think is it Yoel Romero? Yoel? Do you know him? He's the Cuban fighter.
No, I'm not super familiar. I just dabble in it.
He is 44.
In the mixed martial arts.
He is old and perfect.
Well, yeah, I mean, obviously there's outliers.
He's an outlier.
I mean, we got Tom Brady out here going crazy at 44 for football.
He looks like he's getting younger.
Yeah, I mean, he literally physically does kind of, which is crazy. Like, if you look at his, like, when he came into the league now, you're like, oh, shit. That's the young one?
That shit's wild when I think about him, and just regardless of how unathletic he looks, regardless.
He's not athletic.
Why is he so good at the game? He's got to be some type of athletic.
Well, I mean, he's athletic, but like
he's got that
not
arm,
not for the NFL. He ain't that type of athletic. Like, that's the reason he's been able to dominate. His game is not athletic. So you get old, guess what? You're not falling off a cliff athletically. You know, you're mentally better than ever.
Yeah, I see that. Because he's like doesn't really get hit ever either. His whole career.
I mean, he still gets hit. Everybody gets hit, but he's not getting out smired out there like
he's doing a lot of slide.
Like,
I see him slide a lot of
like
hits.
Whoever's the quarterback for the Lions at the time, you know.
Because we suck, right?
Yeah, we're terrible.
Yeah. Oh, and we're in Michigan. Just if you guys didn't know, just want to shout out Michigan, one of the greatest places to ever be born.
Just not the best football team.
Yeah, the football team sucks, but Detroit is awesome. We basically created techno electronic music. We got a lot of badass stuff. Motown, come fuck with it, you know? We're the best. Anyways, so 10 years in the music industry, right?
Yeah.
All right.
I'd say over that, but I don't know exactly how many.
So what about, because I like to highlight a few things when I'm on my show, the things of current stuff. What about the criminal justice system? Do you have, what's your past? I know, personally, just because I know him, so I can't be all fakey-bakey. But I want you to talk about what's your past with the criminal justice system.
You know, we've had quite a few run-ins, quite a few. I got a fairly extensive record, but you know that's all in the past. You know what I'm saying? I did, you know, couple times in jail. You know, a little bit of time, and then I did 3 years upstate.
Oh my goodness, upstate what? What does that mean? You were in a work
In
program?
prison.
Upstate penitentiary. You were in a penitentiary.
Yeah.
What was it? Which one?
I was in St. Louis. It's in Michigan. It's like near the center of the state.
God damn, dude. So, what was that like? I personally have never been to prison. I also went to jail a few times, and some of those times with this cat right here, to be honest. But the most I ever did was fucking. I think overall it was only 9 months. I was a trustee. I got a year, but you don't even do a year. I didn't really do a year at all.
That's a long time in jail, though.
I guess it wasn't that bad. For me, it was fucking not. It was weird. Like that, it's such a small town.
Have you been to OCJ?
Yeah, just for those few days.
All right, how does it compare to OCJ though?
Haven't.
Oh, okay. So it's not the same. It's not.
I saw in OCJ. I saw. What was at the time was crazy for me to see. I saw a guard have a shield that was this way. It wrapped the opposite way, and this guy wouldn't stop being loud and wild. And they shocked his body with the shield, and he shit and pissed all on the ground. I remember, bro. And we were in chains, and we had to all leave out. And then this trustee cleaned all his shit and piss up.
Yeah, I mean that's pretty normal in there.
Yeah, they have shields to fucking knock you out.
I saw a dude like straight up get like German suplexed and his teeth fly out from the guards.
In jail?
Yeah, this dude was like wasted, dude, and they were like fingerprinting him, and he just took off through the door. And like, there's nowhere to go in there. Like, it's like locked door, and then once you get through that locked door, there's another locked door, and they all have to be buzzed through. So I don't know where he was going, but they fucked him up for trying. I'll let you know that.
So how excited do you think that guard was? Like, this was his time. You think that was one of the first ones he got in there?
Oh, for sure. They're definitely shitty in there.
They're ready for action. Oh, they call you by a number. I remember that. That I hated.
When I was in jail, they didn't do that.
OCJ, I was whatever my number. I hated it.
Oh, your bunk number?
Yeah.
Wait, was that how it was in there?
Yeah.
Were you in the annex?
I don't know. I was in an open place with a whole bunch of bunks.
Yeah, he was in the East Annex. Okay, yeah.
That sucks. So when I was in jail for like my longer time, though, me personally, it was a jail with a capacity of 228.
That's a tiny one.
It was beautiful. So every criminal in there basically like lived in there. They knew every guard, and everyone knew everyone's like family members on the outside. Like a guard would be like, "Hey Bloomfield, your sister says fucking blah blah blah," you know. And I was like, "This is crazy." So honestly, the guards didn't mistreat anyone though.
I mean, yeah, when you get up to prison, like it's not as bad either. Like it's still there, but it's not ridiculous.
So because what I know about what I've learned about prison is just from like Oz, you know, like anal. There's a lot of anal, I hear. There's a lot of penetration with shanking too.
So
I don't know what it's like.
So alright, so the movies I'm gonna say and the TV shows, they're accurate, but at the same time they're not.
Oh damn, tell us, dude.
Like the things in the movies do happen, but they don't happen with much of a frequency. Like the worst part about prison, which I'm sure is the worst part about jail for you too, is it's boring as fuck. You're just sitting around, just waiting.
Marking the days.
I'm waiting to eat, and then I'm waiting for them to open yard. And then I'm waiting, once the yard starts, I'm waiting to eat again. I'm like, oh, I'm waiting dinner, and then boom, I'm waiting for yard. And then I'm
You
waiting
gotta come a little bit forward though. They want to see a little bit. There you go.
Where was I?
You're waiting.
Waiting. It's just what you do. Like, I just waited for 3 years.
So when you were in there though, like, so there are shankins? Is there shankins? There's shankins.
It happens, but it doesn't happen a lot. Like, let me see. Like, I saw one dude got like stabbed through the cheek. That was pretty crazy. It was a bad situation. It was all stupid. It was like this big fat guy.
He got stabbed.
He's huge, bro. He just ate massive amounts of commissary. And they decided to hit a lick on him. They were like, "What you gonna do about it?" They had shanking shit. He charged him.
He charged that.
Heck yeah. And then they were, oh shit, stabbed him in the cheek.
Oh, I love that though. So, but he you sounds like you survived something like that.
Yeah, he was fine.
So he kind of made a good statement, huh? Did they try to steal? Did they steal their shit again?
Everybody got moved.
It sounds good then.
Yeah, they just move all the people involved. They just move you around.
2 eyes? He got 2 eyes out of it?
Yeah, he still got 2 eyes.
Man, little cheat chain.
Or, you know, like some dude might get his head smashed in with like a lock with his inside of a sock.
Just for no reason though?
No, like, let me see. I saw one dude out on the yard it happened to. So, like, he was newer. He got there. And he was hanging out. I don't remember what gang. One of the white supremacy gangs.
Oh, damn.
You
so
know,
he was a white guy. He was a white
guy. And then they found out he was a chomo. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, shit.
So they was like, you gotta go. And he was like, what are you gonna do about it?
To the white supremacy gang?
Yeah. So so they came back like a couple hours later when the yard opened back up and they beat his head in with the lock out on the yard.
So basically
it's crazy. I came out, you come outside and it's just like 45 white guys lined up on a wall.
Oh, damn.
Because all they knew was it was a white guy. So like they just had a whole bunch of white people on the wall.
That's crazy. So like basically this guy, he was like, oh, I feel protected. I'm in with these fucking the white supremacists, and then they get the paperwork, and he loves children, and then they're like, yo, you need to get the fuck out of here. So they even that seems kind of nice.
Yeah, that's it. So I was in like a level 1 facility for the majority of my bit, and when you're there, like everybody, not necessarily actually everybody, but 99% of the people there are leaving within 5 years.
They want to go home.
Yeah, well, I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, even if you don't catch a new charge when you're in there, if you fuck up, they can just make you keep going until you're max. So, like, when you go to jail, they just give you a number.
Okay.
So, like, you owe us 1 year.
Yeah.
In prison, they give you 2 numbers. Unless it's a flat time, which is not like...
Your minimum to maximum.
Minimum to maximum. Mine was 3 to 30.
But
so if you're fucking up, they can keep you for that full 30.
And if you catch new charges, they can add more time.
That just gets tacked on.
Wow. God damn. So, like the guy who stabbed the guy in the cheek, he had to get a charge, right?
I'm guessing. I don't know.
Is there ways to not always get a charge?
Well, if you like fuck someone up and they don't press charges, you probably aren't going to get a charge. Like for real, they'd be trying to catch people for drugs in there. That's where most of the charges come from.
And there's probably drugs flowing through there.
Flowing, Suboxone's on lock.
Suboxone.
16ths for a bag of chips. Come and grab them.
Now, are they allowed to have those in there though? Is that like a medication?
When I was leaving, they were starting to bring them in, like legally.
Yeah.
And this is what's funny: the people that like had just perpetually failed and been caught and just been fucking up, they're the first ones that got it.
Oh, they got it.
Yeah, they're the first ones they gave it to.
I mean, that's kind of good.
They're like, you know what? You a junkie? Take this shit.
I like that shit. I like that kind of change, like in our social thought process, personally. Dude, did you see the fucking Baltimore No, they didn't decriminalize it. The way they worded it is that they will no longer prosecute for drug possession, drug distribution, for what's it called? Trespassing, and then I think it's petty theft under 500. Right?
Can we just take a moment to reflect on how funny this is? You know, with the wire.
The Amsterdam!
They turned into really Amsterdam in Baltimore. Like, what a prediction from the early 90s. No, I mean, it was like the early 2000s when it came out or whatever.
Yeah, dude, it's the early 2000s. It's about the late 90s, right? Yeah. It's like the mid-90s. It's about the mid-90s. Because they didn't have cell phones in the beginning of it. And
they pagering it up, having hit the little booth.
Yeah, I think that's so crazy that they fucking made a movie and then it becomes reality. And it kind of seems almost to me like they always do that.
Did you see that Omar just died? The guy that played Omar?
Died from the heroin, I think.
Yeah, well, that's what 50 said.
Well,
did you see what 50 said?
What did 50 say? No, I didn't see what he said.
Now I'm paraphrasing here, but he like posted... And he was like talking about fentanyl, like promoting his power, promoting his show. Mm-hmm. And then at the end of it, he was like, R.I.P. I can't remember what his real name is. The actor.
I forget. It's a white name.
But I mean, it was like he was like saying like he died of fentanyl on there. You know what I'm saying?
He did.
And that was not released to the public.
Yeah, it just says paraphernalia, but we all know.
Yeah,
we all know, bro.
Everybody knows as soon as it says famous actor found dead in apartment.
Oh yeah, dude.
Like, oh man, the fentanyl got him.
I mean, eventually it's gonna just say COVID. Probably it's just gonna say COVID.
Yeah, the COVID heroin.
It depends, If
heroin's been infected with COVID.
Yeah, like if it's someone famous who's connected to the Clintons, then it'll be like 2 COVID bullet holes in the back of his head, dude. Die from COVID. Yeah, those motherfuckers. But yeah, I did see that. But the biggest thing to me that is like interesting about that is that so if you're a junkie in Baltimore right now, you're not breaking the law.
Yeah,
You're
just chilling.
Just chill. But if you're a junkie in Pontiac right now, like they're putting you in jail, in prison.
Yeah, for honestly, if you're a junkie in Pontiac right now, you probably just chilling too.
Really? What makes you think that? That's interesting.
When I lived in Pontiac, no, it's not like they do no policing, but as far as like the petty shit, they just left that shit alone.
Really? So you think if
and it's Oakland County in there, it's rolling through.
It's Oakland County, it is. So you're saying
like every time they came to the crib, they just let me off with a warning and shit. Like, come on, like, oh, we had a whole bunch of shit happen there.
So you think if you're driving your vehicle and you get pulled over because you didn't use your turning signal and you had like...
I could never see myself getting pulled over.
Well, not you. Let's say it's just a citizen that you are friends with.
No, I'm saying I can't see them pulling you over in the city of Pontiac for that.
Oh, yeah,
unless they think you up to something, they've been tailing you and they're trying to...
You don't think they're going to give you a possession charge if they catch you with heroin? If you have like a half...
I don't think they're going to pull you over and look for it. Unless they run in a bigger sting.
Yeah, but
I think that they're told to just kind of like leave that area alone because their fucking court system is overloaded.
All right, man. I don't know.
That's what I personally think. Because when I lived there, they like the stuff that they came to my house for. They would not have just left at the end if I had lived in Waterford or if I had lived in Commerce. Like no way, I'd ended up in jail at the end of that night on some petty shit.
All right. Well, there you go. I don't know.
They police differently in nicer areas.
Well, yeah, dude, but I'm just saying that they'll still fuck you. I think they'll still
fuck you. I'm saying they ain't gonna be trying to catch you.
Yeah, they're not pulling you over for the turning signal thing.
Yeah, they're not pulling you over for petty shit. Like if they pull you over, more than likely you've been up to something or you're connected to someone that's up with something.
But like if you're arguing with your girlfriend in Baltimore and the cops break it up and then they find heroin on you, they don't charge you for it. I think they do in Pontiac is what I'm saying.
Yeah, more than likely.
They're gonna.
Well, first off, we in Michigan, so you didn't cook for the DV. It's gonna be worse than that motherfucking heroin charge. They're gonna fry you.
Probably, dude.
Well, it's gonna be like I yelled at her. Oh yeah, at least 6 months in the county.
Well, let's say it's two girls. It's two gals fighting, a couple, a lover squirrel, two dykes, two lovers.
They might just let them off.
But I'm telling you, that's what I'm saying. The difference is they're gonna get you for the heroin. They're gonna get you for the drugs.
I don't know. You picked two girls, so that's why I said they might let them go.
Two black girls, dark skin, two dark skinned black girls from the dreaded out, and they look like men, kind of. You know, they're like bulldogs. They're bulldogs.
They're getting the charge.
Yeah.
They're getting the charge for sure.
They're getting the heroin charge.
Just because it's there, and they're like, I have to do my job.
But in Baltimore, no more. Yeah. And that's what I'm saying. And then fucking also like in Oregon, they did basically the same thing. I think it's anything under 21 grams, but you can't sell drugs. You can't sell no drugs. But there's people there that are starting full-on mushroom companies.
I was about to say, what about Ann Arbor?
Full-on mushroom companies. I have people on my Instagram right now that are selling full-on microdose mushroom like pills.
I'm waiting for that shit to hit the state because like we growing. Off rip, the day it goes, I got stuff cultured. Let's go.
It's annoying to me. I didn't like dealing with it. You liked it. Like I felt like not getting contaminants at the last part of it was very hard.
Yeah, but I know I get better with it no matter what, and it costs like nothing to do with the giant profit margin. Like that's why you just gotta do it. Like screw it if I screw up a couple times, it's costing me nothing. I can afford to screw up a couple times. What's a little bit of my time because it's literally a little bit of time.
That's true. I just didn't like personally. I don't like growing or any of that though. I find all of that annoying.
I don't find it fun, but I don't like the hours to the pay that you could get out of it, and you can't find that anywhere else.
Oh yeah, I forgot. So back to prison. I wanted to ask. So what is the deal with the whole rape thing? What is going on in there? Is that a big thing? Is that something going on, or is
the rape thing's not going on a lot?
Is there? See, in my mind, I would think there's a lot of lovers. Though.
There's a lot of sissies.
Consensual.
There's a lot of sissies in there, so there's not a lot. Like there was one time someone tried to do it to someone in like my unit, and like the dude just started screaming, and that was a wrap. That was over.
Dude, that's such a wild thing to just try.
Yeah, the guy was like taking a shower. It was like 2 a.m. and the dude just tried to slip in the shower with me. He just ran out the shower. It was like, ah!
Oh, damn! Wild shit, dude.
The dude was cooked.
So I don't know about our state, but have you heard? I know some other states, like if you are like a trans woman, you could go to like a woman's prison. I think I don't know. Now, like when I was in OCJ, there was a trainee that came in.
I don't think it's certain states. I think it's other countries.
Other country? I think California does it, dog. I'm telling you, dog. I'm telling you, dog. Cali does it for sure. It does it for sure.
Cali's fucked up. They don't know what's going on.
But did you notice? I don't know if you remember. I personally remember because dude had the fattest booty coming in that bitch. But when we were in OCJ that time, there was a tranny that came, or a transgender individual, sorry, a trans woman, a beautiful, young, intellectual trans woman. Came in there, and they put him in a specific area. Do you remember? It was in, like, the middle. It was like, we could see them. And there's another, like, real gay, skinny guy in there.
Yeah, they have a whole wing for him there. Just like in, like, prison, like, there's sissies, but, the trans, they go to Parna.
They got their own part.
There's regular people there too, though. You know what I'm saying?
Really?
But they're mixed in. Like that's the only place they put them.
Is it the pedophile? Do they mix them in with the petties?
Those guys are everywhere. They're like.
Oh, I thought they would segregate petties.
This is the worst thing you find out when you get to prison. They're the majority there.
That's what's mostly pedophiles?
Yeah, like it's crazy how many there are.
Because when I got sentenced for fucking heroin distribution, there was 2 pedophiles that got sentenced before me. But so one got a lot of time, but I gotta tell you guys what happened. So it was like this huge fat guy, and I was actually riding up in the elevator with him. I thought it was kind of cool. He cracked a joke. He was funny in the elevator. So his family's there, and there's a woman with him, and she's pregnant. She's fucking pregnant, and she wants to give testimony. And that woman was his daughter, and she was pregnant with his child, and he raped both of his daughters ever since they're 8 years old onward. So the eldest one, like, hates him, right? She's there to fry his ass. And the youngest daughter is pregnant. Like, I wanted this. I love him. Like, it was the grossest shit I ever saw, bro.
That's insane. That's disgusting.
He got 48 years.
Yeah.
She got his ass. And he was
normally they don't get enough.
Yeah, so let me tell you about the other one, though. So the other one was, like, this kid that was, like, a little bit slow. Yeah, they were considered him mental, whatever. I don't know. But not that slow. All right? This kid it was the second time vaginally penetrating a 2-year-old, right? First time she was 1. So this is the next year. Same child. He got 8 months and 9 months of, like, I think they call it diversion therapy. I don't know what that means.
Yeah, it's insane. I don't understand it. Like,
dude, I had 2 40-year maxes. That's the max they can do you for. What was his max?
Not that high. You'd be surprised. Like, some of them might be surprised as 20.
I don't understand that.
Yeah, like my max was 30.
I don't get that. Like, why?
I got caught with 3.7 grams of meth. So.
Of meth, which is a drug that people like to use, by the way. They want to buy it, and if you weren't selling it, what else would they end up usually doing? Buying it from someone else, right? A meth user.
I'm sure. We're cooking it themselves in a bottle. Shake and bake.
But
Talladega Nights.
But this child rapist got, he got 9 or 8 months.
That's how long I sat in jail before they decided I was going to prison.
I know it's fucked up. I arguably think that pedophilia is like worse than murder sometimes. Because it depends on how sick it is. But that kid has to live with that shit.
So I think it's way more immoral than murder. But I don't feel like you could sentence it worse than murder. And this is why.
I like this though.
If murder is not the highest thing, then when I perform other crimes, it's almost required of me to murder them after. Because
he's right.
Because it makes no sense for me not to murder them. Why would I leave a witness if this will do nothing to enhance my crime?
This guy's fucking right. They would, yeah. They would always end up with the fucking...
Always murder them. After everything. Might as well.
He's right. Alright, I scratched that because I agree with that shit. I feel enlightened on that.
But I think it's more immoral.
Alright.
But for the sake of keeping people alive, you can't do that.
What about these aliens and shit? Have you seen any of that? Have you heard or seen anything about aliens around?
I mean, I'm an avid believer in extraterrestrials for sure.
Okay.
I've never seen one.
Okay.
But I feel like I have seen enough proof that I know they either have been here or are here now.
Didn't you say you had a UFO experience one time on LSD or DOI?
I did, yeah. Like,
let's talk. Well, I'd like to rehear about it. Do you think it was a hallucination at this point?
I know it wasn't a hallucination, but who knows what it really was? You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't prove there was aliens up there. I was outside, and I heard a weird noise. It was almost like a wah-wah, like whoop, 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 really deep.
Ooh,
it got louder and louder and louder and louder for like 3-4 minutes. And then something went over that overhead, and it was like, you know, some sort of light, you know what I'm saying? I don't know what it was. It was just a light, and that was like this peak, and then it faded off, but it took like 6-7 minutes to fade off. I could hear it.
The sound.
Yeah.
The wah-wahs.
Yeah, so I mean, maybe the wah-wahs were, you know, hallucinations, but the thing was there. I saw something.
I don't know. So what do you? So you said you're an avid believer. What makes you say that? Have you seen the evidence in like the up and coming year or latest years that makes you believe that? I've seen some shit.
I feel like there's been a ton of evidence. Like,
what do you mean?
A ton of evidence. Like, for example, like, all right, start of COVID. This was the craziest thing to me. Pentagon comes out, and they like confirm that there's like 5 videos they have of shit flying around that they have no idea what it is or how it can even possibly fly like that. And nobody even says anything about it. They're like, it's probably nothing.
I saw some of those videos. So, like, I saw, like, the Commander Fravor Tic Tac video. I don't find it, I guess, too compelling. But I don't understand the radar because it's not very video detailed. You know what I mean?
No, but if you watch the thing moving, it doesn't move in a way that follows gravity.
I agree.
So, and it's moving really fast because they have their perception where they could actually measure how far away it was. And it was like moving extremely fast.
Yeah, by all radar measurements, you're watching a video on the radar, though. You know what I mean? Like, it's a radar.
No, it's an actual video of the thing.
Of the fucking little fucking dot thing?
Yeah.
I thought that was on the radar. That's not on their phone.
Well, that was out the window.
I don't know. I guess I'd have to see what you're talking about. Everything I've seen looks low quality. It does not look good.
It is low quality, but it's the flight from outside, and they see the thing moving, and then the radar confirms its speeds and stuff.
Yeah.
It's not on the radar. You're watching the thing moving, but the fact that they could gauge all that stuff is what makes it like...
It's compelling. What makes it compelling.
But that's just one little bit. I mean, like...
It was not visually
the fact that this has been a phenomenon where people feel like they've been abducted and stuff, and it's been going on forever, like, even through history, like, there's Christopher Columbus, like, in one of his logs, talks about seeing a freaking UFO. He doesn't call it that, obviously, but he talks about a thing coming out of the water and then flying into the sky, a disc.
I mean, that man also sharpened his swords with the arms of native children. So, you know, I take his word with a grain of salt. But I'm not saying they're not real.
I'm saying when you start taking all of the different things, and they're all circumstantial, none of them prove it, obviously. And you put it together, there's such a large body of proof. It's like, why would you not want to gravitate towards that idea? It seems, you know, less logical to be against it than for it.
So one of the videos that I definitely thought was compelling, though, I don't know if you've seen this fucking video. There is a video, I'm pretty sure it's in New Jersey, and it's kind of comical in the beginning. It's 100% real, you can tell. But, like, the guy starts it out, like, because he knew what he's seeing. He's like, look, what I'm videotaping today is a weather balloon. Look at this weather balloon above New Jersey. And it's fucking a flying disc. It is a fucking UFO, right? And he's being, like, satirical. And then, like, you hear his girlfriend, like, oh my God, is that a UFO? He's like, yeah, it's a fucking UFO. And, it definitely, in the video, opens up a red vortex and fucking disappears into a vortex. And it is the most...
I haven't seen it. I might have to go look that up, like, as soon as we're done with this, honestly.
Dude, it's a vortex.
But, what about that thing? Oh my God, it was like in Israel or whatever.
Oh, yeah, from 2011. Okay.
Yeah,
don't you feel like they don't want us to
like
remember that? I feel like they don't want us to remember that, by the way. But yes, I remember that. That was around 2012, because I remember we were doing all that shit.
Yeah.
It was the ball of light that dropped down over the temple. Yeah.
For like a minute, and then shot off.
Perfect video.
Like
multiple videos.
It was going like 20,000 miles an hour. Like, it was so fast.
To me, that was
Or have you seen the video? It's like over in China. It's a real video, and like the dude looks up, and there's a fucking city floating on the clouds up in the sky.
Cloud City, yes, I've seen it. It's happened multiple times, yes.
Yeah, and their answer is that everybody's just like seeing shit.
Whose answer was that?
China's.
Well, I can tell you our possible answer as Americans, what most people say the Cloud Cities are, is Project Bluebeam. I don't know, really, because this is the thing. I believe that Israel one was extraterrestrial. I don't believe that was Project Bluebeam. And but the cities in the sky, the videos that I've seen, they are the shapes of one was a real city. One was a real shadow city, and it was side by side, actually. The one that was in the sky that was like dark, it was not, it was like a shadow of a city. It was in the shape, a perfect shape, not like a cloud formation.
Was ridiculous.
Not a cloud formation, yeah. It was in a perfect mirror shape of a city, but it looked almost translucent. Would you agree?
Yes.
So that's why I think that could be Project Bluebeam.
So the official answer, I read the whole scientist answer. They were saying the light particles created a mirage that every person out there saw. It was the most ridiculous statement I've ever heard. Y'all is just really pulling at some strings here, trying to make that sound like it's legitimate.
Well, I don't think that's legitimate because it wasn't a mirror of their city.
That's the worst part about it.
Yep. It was a totally different thing. City, thing, fucking whatever. But it's interesting.
That's another thing that makes me think they're real.
What?
Why is our government covering stuff up? Or at
Covering
least
up what?
covering up whatever that is. Obviously, that can't be the real answer. Why aren't you giving us the real answer? Obviously, you are going to investigate it. But that doesn't mean you're going to tell us about it.
Yeah, why not just say, oh, we don't know?
Yeah, that would be so much better.
Than some bullshit it's the particles and the reflection you've never seen before.
I'm yeah, it's never happened in the history of the world. And all of a sudden, we have a scientific answer for it now? I think not.
So that happened.
Just came up with it in one night.
There has been a suborbital metal orb that was secreting gas into our atmosphere. That's confirmed. That's found. You can Google that one. There's the photos outside of the commercial airplane. Did you see those of the UFO? That's pretty compelling. That's quite compelling to me. I don't know. What do you think?
All that stuff, like I said, it's all circumstantial, but when you put it together, it's how much do you need? You literally need to have a conversation with an alien?
Oh, I do, yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, I'd like to do that.
Because I'm not going to sit here and say that I know the Earth is round.
No.
And I know Flat Earther, but I don't know.
I don't have any proof that gravity exists.
But I
believe in it despite having physical,
That's a little different though, because you've seen people fall and get hurt, and gravity is the explanation for the fall and get hurt. Fall and get hurt is real.
But we made up the explanation through theories that we've had to break down, and the reason it's called a theory is because we can't prove it wrong. It doesn't mean we proved it right. Gravity actually changes. Our understanding of it changes all the time.
The measurement of gravity has changed.
What it is changes. We've recently figured out that it's completely connected to time.
Oh, damn.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not even that recent.
Who knows?
But increased gravity means quicker span of time.
Mm.
That's why, are quite the opposite, the slowing of time.
The slowing.
They say if you go into a black hole, you know what I'm saying? Time would slow as you're getting closer and closer, and at the very end, it would stop.
And is it Neil deGrasse Tyson who's saying this?
I've seen all sorts of stuff. I've read a bunch of books too.
Mm. I
don't quite comprehend all the quantum physics and stuff, but I've read the books. Most of them go you got the first half through it, and you're hey, yeah, I understand all this stuff, and then you get to the hard part. You know what I'm saying? The actual part that starts getting into the quantum stuff, and you're nah, that's way over my head.
Well, I know that string theory is still one of the accepted theories for explaining the universe.
String theory got disproven or whatever.
I'm telling you, so at least on Lex Friedman's podcast, it is right now still considered as one of the accepted theorems.
It is, but it was proven wrong.
It's definitely wrong. They make up stuff to make it work.
Well, up till recently, it wasn't proven wrong. That's how the theories work. You have to make stuff up. But it's recently been proven wrong. That's incorrect. We're going to have to go on something else.
Yeah.
But hologram theory got proven wrong too.
Well, the whole thing I'm trying to say is that I don't think that we have physics down as they say it is because of the whole, what's that thing? Quantum mechanics. It changed the game, and everything doesn't make it.
So yeah, this is the other thing that's crazy about quantum. We have where they do what's it called? I'm trying to remember what the term is. It's it has to do with probability, where things that are supposed to do something every once in a while just randomly don't.
Yeah.
Where they don't follow any rule at all. They're completely random. I was watching some guys speak on an idea where our physical bodies and stuff are not real at all. Like they're all an illusion. And like we're really just our auras. But each species has found life hacks and it's how to, navigate. And it's what creates what's in front of us. So like a different animal would, perceive reality entirely different, which we already know is true.
We do?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like a dog sees life way more through its nose.
Oh yes.
You know what I'm saying? So its perception of the world would be entirely different.
We know that it would be a different experience, but we don't know what the experience is like as a human.
Correct. We don't know at all.
All right, yeah. And I think that is very interesting. I think that physics is real interesting. What about the Mandela Effect? I mean, have you heard of that?
Of course.
Of course.
Experienced.
Oh, shit. Like, what do you mean?
The Shazam movie.
What Shazam movie?
The one with Shaq.
Don't you mean the one with Sinbad?
That's the problem.
Because there is one with Shaq. If you're talking about the one with Shaq, then we're good.
No, there isn't one.
No, there isn't one with Sinbad. There's one with Shaq.
Oh.
So do you remember Sinbad at all? Maybe you don't even remember Sinbad.
So I got that one backwards. But, I mean, we could talk about Mandela, because that one...
Oh, where it actually sprung from.
Yeah.
Let's talk about it. I don't know what you're talking about again.
We thought he was dead.
I thought he was dead. Don't you remember when we were younger he was dead?
Yes, and then
it changed. Yeah.
Then he got out of prison or something.
I remember he had the biggest funeral. Everyone was there. I remember.
Yep.
The streets of Africa were fucking filled.
What about all the different names of the cereals and stuff? I can't remember all of them off the top of my head.
The Bernstein Bears is a big one.
Oh, that one is huge.
They were the Bernstein Bears, not the Bernstein Bears. They were a Jewish name, and it was obvious, and they were a nice fucking family. And I thought, even as a little kid, that this was like me being exposed to other names, because I knew that was a Jew name. And then they said, no, it's Stain. So what's that all about? You've experienced it, but do you have any theories about?
I don't. Like, it's like almost like, like the only thing is like universe flipping. That doesn't make sense. Like, there's no way all of us are just flipping back and forth between universes.
Well, what about the CERN machine?
What is that?
The CERN machine is the Hadron Collider.
Yeah, the collider. Okay.
So conceptually, some people believe that depending on what they are working on down there, that you could cause some type of rip, lapse, or change in our time stream. And that's what we're experiencing.
I disagree with that. I read a lot and watched a lot about that.
Cool.
And
why?
So, alright, to fuck with time, you'd have to spawn a wormhole. You know what I'm saying?
Which they've done.
But
or a black
the problem is with the machine where it's smashing them together. So when you create a wormhole like that, because of its small size, it lasts less than a second.
Yeah.
So you really can't do any damage or do anything with it. Like, it's really only for studying purposes.
From what they've explained to us that they've observed is what I've
From what I understand, the capabilities of the machine.
Yes.
Because it has limited mass that it can move.
So theoretically, it would have to have higher capabilities than what they're saying, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not possible.
It could be, but I really don't feel like the science world has to hide things from us that much. I feel like they could be doing fucked up shit and we'll just be cool with it because they're scientists.
Well, there's a lot of things that is public knowledge that is fucked up that people don't look up. Yeah.
It's just out of sight, out of mind. People ain't gonna look for it, and people won't believe it when you tell them, even though it's fact.
Mm-hmm. You guys can look this up at home. I think it's from the 60s, I think. From 19...
The syphilis thing?
No. That was wild. But they've outlawed environmental warfare. Environmental warfare was already utilized back then, and they made it illegal. That means that they've been able to control the weather, and you can look it up. They have old, from 1920 versions of the machines that control the weather with these long cones in the air and shit.
Yeah, they pump microwaves up into the sky.
Dude, they have weather controlling machines. They can create hurricanes. They can create things around us in the weather. So if they have this capability, I don't know. I'm not a fucking scientist, but when a hurricane comes and destroys some fucking shit out of nowhere, why is no one ever hey, what's going on? Did anyone turn on the machines, huh? Do we have a check? Like, do we got a thing that checks when that machine comes on? And the board of directors like, hey, these machines aren't allowed to be on. Or no?
I mean, like China actively does change their weapons.
They actively do it.
Yeah, they do it all the time.
So that's what I'm fucking saying, bro. Like, why is this not a question? Like, when what is it? New Orleans hits, when all these hurricanes fucking decimate shit.
Can they stop things from happening? I don't know the capabilities of that.
How do we know they didn't cause it?
We don't.
That's what I'm saying. Where's the check? Where's the thing that's like, oh, wee woo, wee woo, we got a machine on.
But I don't personally have any proof that they did it either.
Me neither. But I have heard.
That leaves me in the middle because I don't have like any real actual evidence besides that they could do it.
I don't have any evidence of it, but the fact that they can do it, and the fact that I know that most people I know.
And I'm big on conspiracy theories, but I need some proof. Like the flat Earth theory, I'm completely out on.
Ooh, flat Earth. Yeah, I don't know.
Because here's the first thing that you need to know with a conspiracy.
Mm-hmm.
All right, why is this a conspiracy? Why is this being held from the public?
Oh, you're saying why would they lie?
Why would you spend the money and the time to lie about this for generations?
Mm-hmm.
What could you gain from the Earth being flat when in fact it's round?
Or you mean what could you gain from the Earth being round when in fact it's flat? Because in theory, that's what we'd be discussing, right? So I don't know much, but the only thing that I could think of they could gain is the concept that just like, you know how it's always tied to, and we're very, very small in the universe. You know, I think that people that control our planet don't want the masses to understand that, like, they are us. There's no difference when it comes to the flesh and blood part. It's just they learned different stuff or had different, like, put into position or luck. That's how people get into the game, and then they learn and they stay. But I think that if you tell people that the world is round and that you're just a small speck of insignificant nothing in this mass universe, then you wouldn't be awed by the concept of this being more of a realm, like a flat plane where we have been placed here by, I'm going to use all the terms, God, Buddha, aliens, whatever you want to call it. We were created and placed here because we are important, and then something very powerful cares about us. That would be the only reason I think they would lie about that. And then I just start looking at some of the other stuff, like, you know, the rocket, the new rockets going up right now, Elon Musk rockets. If you watch the videos and the pictures, it always arcs down to the Earth. Every single one. And he said in a statement that that's just an optical illusion, that the rocket, it actually pops out into the stratosphere right before, like, right at the, he says at a certain elevation, right? But basically it has to go down before it goes up. And that's what you're seeing. But all I'm saying is when you actually look at the photo, that's not what it looks like. It looks like it just goes and does an arc. All those high up space flights, like the one that Bezos just did and Virgin Mobile, they are not space. You can look it up. Space has to be over, I think don't
You're saying it's in the atmosphere still?
Yes. None of them are space. So we have no evidence of it, is all I'm saying. We have never been back to the moon. We have more technology and more money than we've ever had. Everything is cheaper to make. How they got to the moon, they say the power of that computer is the same capability as like one of those now.
Oh, smaller, like less than your phone.
Okay. So I guess those are the only things that make me just, I guess. I'm not saying that it's flat, but I'm definitely sure as hell saying.
So, like, you know, pretty much the key of every conspiracy, like, comes back to money and power normally, right?
Yeah.
You don't gain any of that from lying to us about it.
Yes, you do if there's unlimited power. So, like, all right, I don't know, again.
What do you mean if there's unlimited power?
All right, so, like, a lot of people say that the sun is really where our electricity is coming from. And that it is a lie. When you pay your electricity bill, that their generating mechanisms are always from the sun. And that you're being robbed. And that energy is free and should be free. And you don't understand that, and the round earth would dictate more of a concept where that's not true.
So, let me get this straight though.
Yeah.
Alright, so solar power is real. There's no doubt about that.
We know solar power is real.
And DTE does harvest a whole bunch of it. They even pay you to do it.
They do it through Power Solar, the company. I made that guy's deck. Shout out.
But why does that matter how they generate it?
The reason is because right now they claim that they do it through like those power boxes.
And here's the thing. Yeah. If they did it solar powered, it changes nothing. You can still go get solar power right now yourself and do exactly that.
Well, it's actually legal in Michigan. You'd have to go through Power Solar.
Really? It's illegal here?
Yes. And California and Colorado.
I didn't know it was illegal here. I knew the other ones.
So, all I'm saying is actually that, this is all I'm saying, bro. This is how I feel. Human beings, especially us, because I don't know any aliens yet, we like to flaunt when we get shit. And if we went to the moon, I think we would have went back to the moon 500 times. There'd be a fucking casino on the moon and a whorehouse on the moon. We would be fucking selling tickets to the moon and getting moon money. Like, that's what we do. I don't think we would have went there and never went again.
I think we found stuff up there and we've been back there lots of times.
They claim we went there once, though. That's the official record.
Yeah, I don't believe any of that.
So
I even think the moon landing picture might be fake, but I think we went there.
Okay. I don't know.
Because lots of, that's another conspiracy. And I've seen other stuff, and some of it's somewhat compelling, but then I've heard the counter argument, so I can't really pick either way. But if it is fake, I think we still went up there and we made a fake one because what we found up there, they didn't want to show the average person.
I like to kind of think around the stuff that like some people leak before they start dying, which is not good evidence. Nobody should think the way I think. That's pretty fucking, it's very weird to go. But I like that kind of shit. So like Buzz Aldrin, the guy who went to the moon, if you watch one of his last interviews with this little fucking girl, right? She's asking all these questions. He's being cutesy, and at some point she goes like, was the moon landing fake? And he's like, and then she goes, well, then why have we never been back? And if you stare at Buzz Aldrin, you see it all breaks. The facade is broken. He's being a real vulnerable human, and he just says what I guess is a lie. He says, well, sweetheart, because we've never been to the moon. And space doesn't work like that. And that it doesn't go up like that. And he says all this weird shit. Right? He says all this fucking weird shit. They're like, cut it, that's it. And fucking, same thing with, like a top Israeli, official for the space, like their space program. He was like 90-something years old, but he did an interview right before he died where he claimed that fucking, this is not true, this is a lie. That yes, we've been to space, but it's not through, like flying in a ship, it's through, like, gateways, basically. And that there's an intergalactic, board on the moon. And there has been for a long time. And that we're not allowed to be a part of it yet. And fucking all this wild shit, bro.
So it's like an offshoot of ancient alien theory then.
Is that ancient alien theory?
Kinda, then like not necessarily the moon, but the rest of that.
I don't even know.
The ancient alien theory, they like the aliens dragged the moon there.
That moon video from the 70s or whatever, that's fake. I saw it.
That's what I'm saying. Like I'm like, that could be fake. But that don't mean we didn't go.
Now, because we have all the technology. I think we're doing wild stuff.
I think we do a way, like, that's another rule of thumb I have with stuff. I don't believe we have less than we claim. I believe we only have more. Like the nukes are fake. No, nukes are not fake. Go ask Japan. It's fucked up over there. I
always claim less than I have. I think
that's
all
what I'm saying.
do, so yeah.
It's a smart power move. They're smart. They're in power. They know that, like, when we see stuff like whatever's the latest thing they're using in the military. No, that's the latest thing they were using 10 years ago.
I agree, 100%. I remember, like, it's a video from, I think, 2010. It's a military weapon that uses 5G technology that will, like, it doesn't kill you, but they explain it like it makes you feel like your body is on fire. And it's a crowd control machine.
Oh, the China one?
Yeah, well, there's a U.S. military one in this video from 2010.
Oh, yeah, I just saw this thing that was connected because they were definitely making energy weapons to control their population or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
They were like tanks or whatever that they released the COVID virus to control their population. I watched the whole thing on it, but once again, it's all circumstantial.
I mean, there's certain things that we've all kind of concluded that the virus did come from the lab.
That's fact.
That's fact. That's what I'm saying.
I know.
Some people claim it's.
They're like, "Oh, where did you hear that?" I'm like, "Bro, like I watched the news, but like when I was in prison every day, and on the news they told you that at the beginning. They're like, yeah, it was leaked from a lab in Wuhan. The conspiracy comes from was it somebody took it from the lab and sold it on the market, and then somebody ate it and it spread, or was it intentionally put out?
No, in the beginning, though, they said that it could have been the bat. The mainstream news ran with the whole bat pangolin thing for a while. Originally, they said it could be a lab leak. They abandoned that when Trump was like, it's probably a lab leak. They're like, oh no, it's a pangolin and a fucking bat. And then once Trump got kicked out, they got him out, then they had to be truthful. The reason why this is very important, though, I think people need to know this, is because that specific lab is funded by the United States of America.
And it literally only studies the SARS virus, which is what COVID comes from.
And the patent on COVID-19, the virus, is owned by an American named Bill Gates.
Might have heard of him.
I don't know if you guys know, he's buying up all the farmland, he wants to shoot beams at the sun, he's doing wild shit, dude. Oh, and his gardener was caught with over 200 pornographic child images. That's right, over 200 child porn images. That's fact. Look it up.
That's crazy.
That's fact. Not him. His gardener. His personal gardener where he sleeps and lives and shit. And shit.
What happened to Epstein's chick?
Ghislaine.
Yeah.
I don't know. Well, I know, like, I think the official story is that she is just in Pelican Bay right now. And she's on trial.
Just like nobody's heard about it.
Oh, well, she posted one photo, and she had a little black eye, and she said that they're not treating her well.
How did she post the photo?
I don't know how she gets to post photos. She does interviews, too. Are you not allowed to do stuff like that from prison? Oh, no, I see TikTokers in prison. And they're making their cook-ups, and they got smoking blunts, little skinny blunts. I see it a lot, dude.
Okay, so that stuff happened, but somebody snuck a cell phone in there.
They had to sneak it all in there, I assume, the blunts and everything, right?
Oh, yeah, that stuff's always in there.
What about the J's? They let you wear your nice J's and shit?
No,
These
all right,
niggas
so
got
check it
J's
out.
on.
So in ours, we can't get J's no more. But you can buy nice shoes, like Nikes, all that stuff. Like we just literally can't get J's. Like,
but you can buy, like, they got all the commissary?
Yeah, like I had Adidas Cloud Foam. Not quite the commissary. You gotta fill out a form and then ship it, and they take it out of your commissary, and then it shows up, and you go and pick it up, and like it's like a half mile away. You gotta go walk over there and grab it.
You know, if I owned prisons, I wouldn't allow that shit because I feel like it's gonna make you guys fight.
It doesn't. It does the opposite. That's why they do that.
It makes you fight less.
So when you take a bunch of when you have very little things that you care about, how are you going to control people? Like the weight pit, they're geniuses. Like, all right, they made the weight pit. If you catch a ticket, you lose the weight pit, and you got to wait to get back on it. People don't be getting in trouble just because they're trying to work out. Like, oh no, I'm not just live past. I'm not going to go 3 months without the weight pit.
Because the weight pit, you get the endorphins, you feel great.
Well, you know, people do their bits different ways, but I'm telling you, 70% of people work out at one point there.
The weight pit.
And well, not necessarily, but you know, the weight pit is the most efficient way to work out.
Okay, I get that.
So they use privileges as a way to keep people in line.
All right, back to Ghislaine Maxwell, though. Just so people know, she was a killer of children, right? But if you look at what she's actually being charged with, it's just transporting a minor across state lines. I think that's a 5-year felony. So she's looking at a max of 5 years.
Yeah, it's not shit. So actually, it's not even a max then. Because, like, I don't know how it is federally, but, like, in Michigan, you can only get, like, I think it's 3/4 or it's 2/3 of your sentence.
This is her first time ever in trouble in her life.
I was just saying, just in general, like, here, like, you can't, like, if you got 7-year max, like, you only get 5 years and some change. Like, they can't give you 7.
Oh, okay.
They give you flat time, but then it's just, you know, like you catch a gun charge for your first time. 2 years. You do 2 years. Like, that's all it is. They can't hold you any longer.
Well, either way, she's not even looking at shit. And she was like a horrible monster, according to the allegations. And then also, Jeffrey Epstein, the man who killed himself in prison, was... Wink, was connected to, like... I mean, you can find a photo with him with almost every fucking powerful person.
Not every pop, well, yeah, a lot of them.
Yeah, they're not bad photos. And
no.
I can totally, if he's rich as he is and he's around that, just because you take a photo with him doesn't mean like you fucked kids.
Yeah,
no way.
Because
No way.
They were trying to push that at the beginning. They were trying to do that with Trump.
Every time. It was
like, he went to the island. Not on the log.
Not
you know
on the
who is,
log.
though?
Huh?
You know who is though?
Who?
The Clintons, both of them.
Oh God.
Obama.
Wasn't our ex-president Clinton? Zuckerberg, yeah. I remember in Jeffrey Epstein's home, there was a painting of Clinton in a blue dress, in a blue gown. Did you see that?
No.
You didn't know that? Oh, yeah. There's a outstanding, beautiful painting of Clinton. I think he has a crown on, and he's in a blue dress. And
what's going on over there?
Because I just feel like it's not drugs. Like, they just gotta want all that.
I know, like, that's what I'm saying. Like, where did these people come from?
I don't know.
They ain't like me. If I got rich and famous and powerful, this is definitely not what I'm trying to do with it.
I'm like,
all right, let's do this. Let's start prostitution on an island with children, just for shits and giggles. Like, that's like what they practically did.
Yeah, but you know what? Fucking, at least from what I researched, the Mossad, the Jewish, like, CIA or whatever, has been doing this for a long time. And it's called a honeypot. It's a honeypot fucking intelligence program, actually. When you get this powerful person, you get Chris Rock, right? All right, think about someone Chris Rock. And I think we understand this better now because of the internet. Like, if you got someone where hundreds of thousands of people listen to what he says, right? You get him, you take him to the island, you get him to fuck a 16-year-old that looks like she's 25 because he's not a weirdo or whatever, but you got his ass. You have him. Now you say, listen, for 2 years, you got to push this agenda. Okay?
Yeah, entrapment or whatever.
Yeah, and listen, that's all you got to do. Write it in your material and just get the black people in the community shooting each other, you know? Or whatever. And I think I know for a fact that that's what the Israeli government has done for a while. It's not illegal there for them to do. They use that tactic. And then people claim the CIA does it too. And that
I'm sure the CIA operates outside of the rules. They do whatever they want.
They do whatever the fuck they want, dude. And I think they're actually who chooses, like, who's president and everything. I think.
I don't know what went on in my last election.
Like, I don't know. I don't think that guy won. I don't even like Trump, but I don't think that guy won.
I don't know the Trump one either. I just know that election looked fucked up.
It was weird, and it was the highest amount of brainwashing I ever felt during
It was the highest amount of voting by, like Trump had way more votes than when he won.
I don't know.
Can you explain that?
I can't explain anything. I can explain that Trump is down 23 pounds. I hear he's getting back in the fighting shape, dude. I think he's gonna fight like Jake
Paul. I saw him post
baby.
something where he's coming back.
Yeah, dude. I think he's coming for him.
Oh, I already know he's running 2024. Will he win the primaries?
I'm voting for the Libertarian Party. Whoever runs for the Libertarian Party, I'm voting for them.
I mean, I don't really vote, to be honest with you. And as a felon, I can't vote because I'm tired of seeing that on Facebook where they have all these explanations where, like...
You can vote. It's not true. You can vote.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh, okay.
They always have that stuff on Facebook and stuff. And I'm like, I can't vote. The fuck are you guys
Other
talking
states
about?
you can't. That's why.
It's like just Florida and like Texas and like one other state. It's like almost nowhere.
Florida's so free right now, dude. Oh my God. They know how to live there. They know how to live. Have you been to Florida lately since the freedom?
Yeah, I went right after you went.
Oh, yeah. Wasn't it awesome?
It was alright.
Oh, you didn't really care that much, eh?
I mean, it felt very similar to here, but like it was nicer out because it was like wintertime when I went.
Yeah, well now here they're doing it.
Just felt like I was like summertime in a city I wasn't aware of.
Like now we did fucking Woodward Dream Cruise and then like I just saw a giant Corridos concert downtown Pontiac. Like they're doing shit now, but they weren't like earlier.
I mean, when I was locked up and I was watching the COVID stuff starting, I mean, I was loving it watching Florida. That shit was so funny. It was like COVID outbreak, the state shutting down, and then it goes next. Huge, giant beach party in Florida. They're getting it in. Millions of people on the beach.
I loved it. It's the best, and no one's even dying over there. They just get sick.
I know.
Which makes sense.
Because that's what happens. Because it doesn't kill very much.
That's what we've all used to get sick. You remember when we used to get sick? I'm not gonna lie to you. Ever since this started, I like haven't gotten sick. And I think
you know what I think the worst part is? Like people are like prone to spread other diseases more now because like they'll go get the COVID test. They're sick. Like, all right, you are sick. You know you're sick. You go get the COVID test, and they're like, oh, it's not negative.
I'm good.
I'm not contagious. Like. What? Only COVID's contagious now? Like most things are contagious.
You're right. But did you notice that like the flu is down? I think like 30%.
Yeah, which doesn't make sense either.
It makes sense if COVID tests kind of just pop for whatever. You know, you get a little COVID here, COVID that way, whatever.
Yeah, all I know is I have completely not avoided it in any way.
And it's kept me
And
safe.
I've been great.
It's kept me safe. Yeah, that's the best
I've
way.
been around lots of people that had COVID.
Me too.
I smoked with them, and then, like, a couple days later, like, yeah, I got COVID. Actually, the next day, it happened a whole bunch of times.
Oh, yeah.
I got COVID. Guess what? I'm fine.
But I do believe that
I think it's real.
Oh, it's not even that. I believe that eventually they will drop a virus that is deadly. And then at that point, they will play on the fact that so many times it was a fake out, and then they'll get a lot of deaths. You know what I mean? So I am prepared, though. Like, I have stocked up on, like, ivermectin. I have stocked up on fucking, like stuff to be able, I have intravenous vitamin C. I have fucking,
You say, like, the world goes into chaos then?
I'm saying I do have all the stuff as if there was a pandemic happening, stockpiled. But I'm not using it yet.
I'm looting.
Oh, damn, dude. You could have just asked. We could have been safe
I wasn't
together.
looting you. I was just saying.
Oh, when it goes down.
Yeah, if it breaks all apart, let's get to looting early. Like, I know this is going to be a thing. I've seen enough movies. I've played enough games. When it all breaks down, you just go around and loot. At one point, nobody even lives in any of these places.
You're right. I mean, you can be
if all the rules are thrown out the window, then you know what? I got to take advantage the best way I can because it's about to go down.
Yeah, I mean, I hope you have a gun to protect your stockpile, obviously, Like, those who just stockpile without the gun, they just got it for their neighbor, But, I don't know. I just think they will. They will drop a virus eventually that is, like, deadly. And then they'll play off that. So many of us,
I don't know that they necessarily dropped COVID or that if any of this was on purpose. And now, if it was, and let's say China did it on purpose, I don't know that it was supposed to affect us in any way. I don't think it got over here, and I feel like now it's being used for political plays. I don't feel like it was put here by us necessarily on purpose. I think that they're just using it to their advantage. It's obvious to me that they're using it.
I don't know. Just to me, it looked
like the COVID bills when they were trying to pass the relief bills. Those were ridiculous. It'd be like, we're doing all this, and then let me just slide this thing completely off topic in there.
I liked that. That was kind of cool about it. No, I agree with you though, but I would just say that probably, I watched it like I watched The Wire. I saw Trump, this gangster, he went over there, he was talking to Xi Jinping, they're like, hey, how you doing? And he said, you know what, no more money, and I'm taking the fucking tariffs, all that middleman money with the drugs, it's done, we're done. And then right after, boom, Wuhan. You get the videos of people fucking falling and dying and shit.
And that is one of the reasons that I don't believe that all of what we saw over there was from COVID.
No.
Like, what was up with that? Because that's how the video started when they were pushing it out. There's people walking just slamming dead on the street. Like, that never happened here.
You're right. But
according to China, they only had like 50,000 cases.
Yes. And if you watch more videos, you saw that they were running fucking ovens 24/7. They're burning bodies. No, I believe that is because Wuhan has the worst pollution problem, and that was what was causing that at that moment. They had a horrible pollution issue, but they capitalized on it while they released this virus. I believe they released the virus because it's gang, nigga. He said, you're not getting the money anymore. They're like, oh, well, fuck your economy. I'm going to shut your whole shit down, dude.
See, I think if they did it, it was for a different reason.
What?
You think America released it there?
No, I think that China released that virus because he took away the trade embargoes, and then the billions of dollars that they would make on transactions when the drugs would come over, like pharmaceutical drugs, he stopped that as well. That's why our drugs got, a 90 script of Adderall was like $4. It was super, super low at the beginning, and then now it's not like that no more.
I mean, yeah, China makes a lot of drugs.
Yeah,
they make like all the animals.
He changed that, and then 2 weeks later, those videos started.
So there's that, but if I was to say, this is the other thing I've seen. Like, before this happened, like, there was giant protests in China all the time.
Oh, in not mainland, but the fucking wherever, Taiwan, right?
In mainland China, there's protests.
No, it's just that one area. It's just that Hong Kong, right? Where there's a democracy. There's been there and not no more, and that's where they always did their protests. And then
yeah. So, anyways, and then all of a sudden COVID came out, and then everyone was just thanking China for keeping them safe. Like, it was the perfect crowd control. It just ended it.
They still were protesting. It's just that China went in and was violently stopped them. And
no, it stopped after COVID.
Look them all. You're talking about there's one place in China that has had democratic process. They don't now. And right when that happened, China attacked them and took them over. And that's where all those protests, like, if you've seen videos of protests in China, that's where they were. They were allowed to, because there's like a school there. They had different laws than the main communist China. Because America protected them, because they had a democracy. But when this happened, China took them over, and that has been done. And we haven't even heard, like...
Are you talking about Taiwan, then?
I think I am.
Because they didn't take over Taiwan.
I'm not talking about Taiwan.
They did try to take over Taiwan in the middle of COVID.
Yeah, we need a Jamie. A Jamie would. I don't know if you've seen Joe Rogan. He's got.
He looks stuff up.
He looks it up. I don't fucking know, but China is definitely on some bullshit. I'll tell you that much. They're taking over everything. They're talking the Taliban right now. They're fucking cool with everybody.
They scare me. They scare me just because of their level of efficiency. Like, I've seen videos where, like, 19 days skyscraper goes up, it's done. And I'm like, we've been working on that for years over here.
And then it's just a ghost skyscraper. No one even lives in it.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, what? You got your people that efficiently working? And, like, in 19 days, they putting this all up.
Don't they have, like, 3 times as much?
They're like, huh?
Don't they got, like, twice as much, 3 times as much?
Yeah, but you can't just, like, hire as many people as you want to build a skyscraper. Like,
they don't hire them. They have to do it.
Obviously. Well, they live in a partially capitalistic market. So.
I know.
But
it's crazy horrible though. It's like 16-hour workdays in slave shops, or not slave shops, but sweatshops. They are getting paid, and now they get to live in like a one little box place.
Yeah, have you seen those?
Yeah, like it's hell, bro.
But I mean, but what are they supposed to do? Like at the same time, they have over 1 billion people. You know what I'm saying?
Out of there.
They have over 1 billion people. It's small. No, we don't need more people here. The problem is the Earth is overpopulated.
But it's really not, though. They say
it is, though. Based on the resources we have, if we want to live like us.
I was told that you could. There's a lot of land, though.
There's a lot of land, but you can't just like grow shit everywhere.
Yeah, they have to import it.
But there's not enough food. There's not enough.
And I hear that's not true too. We do have the enough food. That's all lies. It's the way we allocate it, because we allocate it based off of money. The price margins and who buys and where spending gets better food, more food, etc.
I've seen that there's really not enough.
I think
there might be enough food for everybody to maybe like barely survive, but not to live right.
I don't know. I guess you gotta look it up. You gotta look at what kind of stuff you've seen. I know that
I've seen stuff. They said like like 6 billion is like a good number for our planet. Like that's like really where we should go above. We're way above. I was watching scientists, but I can't remember who it was. This is a while ago.
These fucking scientists. It's
know based on the resources that are available to us.
I don't know. I don't really know.
Like water's a thing. There's not like unlimited fresh water.
No, but most of our planet is water, and we filtrate it. We make it fresh.
Yeah, but that also requires money.
Energy, money. It's the system. That's what I'm trying to tell you. It's the system.
There's limited amounts of things. Like,
it's the capitalism and concept that allocation goes to money.
But if you reverse it and try to somehow one world control it all, it's not going to work.
I hear it's worse.
It won't work at all. There's going to be way more suffering, way less productivity. Things don't exist. Nothing gets made.
Dog, I ain't saying you're wrong.
So there really isn't the resources. Like it's not really a possibility.
I don't know.
Until they come up with machines that are cheap enough that everybody can get one that just materialize shit out of nothing.
And then here's another thing. I think it's the quality of food. Like you just said, live like us. No, maybe they can't live like us, but like some of them.
But we can't live like us if the other people are
move
up. Like there's limited resources.
I don't know. I fight about this with all my liberal friends every day. They tell me you're fucking wrong as hell.
I'm sure they do, but you know what? They're not the ones.
I don't know.
They're not the ones that own all the businesses. Is the problem? They're not the ones that actually understand how the production and everything works. Like look what happened with the chicken at the start of COVID. They shut down for like 2 weeks and like stores were empty. Well, that's just in America. There's not chicken farms everywhere. Like the reason we have this abundance of food is because we do the horrible things that the liberals also hate with the animals. Like, so if we were to bump up production to try to do the rest of the world, like everything's, like those massive slaughterhouses and stuff. Everything's GMO.
I hate that.
Everything's GMO because it's the only way you can grow crops at that level.
Well, what about the concept of I think it's like
farm to family where everyone, like we all had, you guys, like look at all this land you have, right? You guys got all this stupid ass grass. What if every patch was
China could kill that right off.
What?
Alright, so you're gonna evenly distribute all the land. So like
No. I'm saying if it wasn't grass, you grew vegetables and food.
yeah, so that would work for like my family because we live on a decent amount of land. But cities is automatically white. You're not growing anything.
That's not true though, because if you've seen lately, they do like those they do grows from the ceiling. They've innovated like vegetable grows.
They have,
for, like,
but
people.
you don't have enough space to live off of what you could grow there. There's no way you can.
No, but it would severely cut down on your cost and on the amount of food that you need.
Actually, it costs more to grow your own stuff, to grow your own vegetables than to buy it at a store.
It's free.
For sure.
It's free.
It's not free. You gotta buy.
Like
You gotta buy the seeds. You gotta buy the soil, and then that costs more in the end. And you gotta put all that time in.
The time, I don't know about the
but
it doesn't cost
money,
a lot to grow.
It's about the same.
The seeds are like $3 for a shit ton of seeds. Like every vegetable you could think of, bro. And then the soil, those bags cost like $10.
Vegetables are cheap to buy.
Oh, I understand that, but you're saying like there's not enough. This concept of not enough. So I'm telling you,
there's not enough farmable land either. Like
see,
Middle East,
I don't know that.
None.
Well, they can't. No, not that.
Like a lot of Africa's good, a lot of Africa's bad.
What about the fucking flatlands
South
of America that have almost no people, because people love to live in cities and all that.
That's where all of our
land.
farming does happen.
Yeah.
That's literally where all of our farming is.
But I'm saying, picture all these homeless humans.
Like, check it out. Like, all right, so this is where I think people get confused too. On like, they think like the rest of the world's like over here as far as farming. Like when like the Vikings came over here and like when we came over here from Europe, like we were like, oh my God, look at like it was the most fertile soil. Like we are like so hyped up over here for like how good farming is. But just here in America.
Yeah.
It's not like that everywhere.
Oh, I understand
Canada,
that. I understand that.
Mexico, not great either. You can get some crops.
It depends, yeah.
Yeah, but like, tons of areas that are garbage. Tons of areas of America that are garbage. Nevada, like all the desert states. Like you can't grow much there.
And then again, when you say you can't grow much there, let's build greenhouses. We can control the climate.
Now it's more expensive. More expensive.
Costs more. I'm just saying, why is there any grass? Why is it in all food?
Well, because it takes way more work than grass. So, I mean, if you want everybody to farm, everybody's not doing all the other jobs.
But there's a guy that cuts grass a lot of times. There's a guy who puts your grass down. What if there was that service was the vegetable guy who tends to the vegetables every day?
They could do that, but you have to pay that guy, and
I'm just saying, don't you think that we could change systems? Systems are changeable.
We can grow more food, but
why? I like the thought that every American is more self-sufficient. Why not?
I like the idea of all that stuff.
Yeah,
I grow stuff.
You do,
but it costs more for real. Like soil's expensive.
You think it costs more in the end to grow your own things rather than to?
Yeah, costs at least close to the same. Sometimes you don't get as good of a product.
Well, then why choose to? Why do you choose to?
Because I'm already growing stuff. So it's like not any extra work.
I don't know.
And it's like satisfactory growing stuff. You know what I'm saying? Creating something, essentially. That's what it feels like. Like, bet I did that.
But again, everything would be different if everyone was doing it. Because then the market is different. Everything's different. Yeah. Everyone's different.
Yeah, I mean, you're wiping out a lot of stuff, too. Wiping out a lot of business.
Or business changes into trade. Like, oh, I want that kind of carrot. I want this shit. So you just get it from your neighbor.
Well, I mean, we already do that.
Not enough, though. What I'm saying is if you look a lot with money.
Money is trade. Like
money is trade. Money is representation of trade. But it gets.
I would hate to have to just trade because then you have to literally know all the people that you need to trade.
I didn't say you have to just trade. You could DoorDash. You could still have your phone.
I mean, then people do that all the time.
But if we did it more, then we would have a stronger society and maybe less homeless. More people would have food. I think if we grew food is what I'm saying. Like. I still think we should buy food and participate in the capitalist system.
I don't see how you're going to have less homeless. I don't see how we're fixing that problem.
Well, they got the tiny homes in California, right? They put people in California in these tiny homes, and they let them do drugs. They don't stop them from doing drugs. And like, they're showing that most people move out and get their own, like, place. Like, they don't stay there. when they don't have like these certain allocations, add in where they
I'm
have
sure
to
that
grow
helps.
some food and they learn some stability food growing mechanisms. I don't know.
But I'll tell you what, California is the most fucked up state.
They're the worst.
So I'm saying, like, even with drugs, they're the most fucked up state. Like, they're the most drugged out state.
Drugged out.
So I don't want to follow any of their leads because it seems like nothing they're doing is working. It's doing the opposite.
I mean, they get allocated, I think, $10 million a year for their homeless. That's why there's so many homeless. Because most of that money's going to the salaries.
I mean, they
of
have
the
so many
people.
homeless too because it's a nice state.
Oh, yeah. Oh, you're right.
Otherwise, like, it sucks to be homeless in Michigan.
You're right.
You might die in the winter, every winter.
It's true.
A whole bunch of times.
That is true.
You better go punch a police officer if it gets too cold outside.
No, you're right. But I'm just saying a lot of the social things that California wants to implement, people don't realize on the back end they're getting hijacked. Like, if you give people $10 million and $5 million of it is going to the salary of the people that are helping the homeless, guess what? Their job goes away if they fix the problem.
Oh yeah, that's the problem. It is too.
That's what I'm saying. Like, a lot of their programs are good. They're rigged.
But I'll tell you what about all these programs. Most of the time, in the long run, it ends up hurting people.
Oh, yeah, welfare and type shit.
Yeah, because it's made people insufficient for themselves.
I agree. That
And
kind of
that's the biggest problem.
So it all depends. Like, but if you look at some of the drug programs, like I think methadone clinics
The
save
drugs,
lives.
well, but they also create a new issue. They just have people hooked on methadone. So,
I think
mean,
that-
it's better than heroin,
Exactly.
but like there should be a better way.
I think they should have a heroin clinic. That's the better way. They should be able to do whatever they want.
I
I'm
believe
saying
like it should be a capitalist market. I don't see why.
medical industry is involved.
Yeah, I don't see why it's involved at all. I would be fine with regulations, obviously.
I don't know. I actually know a few friends that are doing the ketamine treatment. I know this one.
I know someone too.
Yeah. I know this one Chaldean girl. Unless you're from Michigan, you probably don't even know what Chaldean means. You know that shit. Actually, most people don't even know that.
Why?
Because they're only really here.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like their highest population is in fucking Michigan.
Yeah.
And there's a small amount of them in general because they murder them there for being Catholic. Anyways, yeah, so this bitch fucking goes to a place and they fucking light her ass up and she says she trips balls and fucking cries and she's out of there, dude. Like in outer space. For like 30 minutes or 20 minutes, she's like out of her body, outer space.
It's dope.
It's insane.
I'm supposed to treat depression, so.
Yeah, and then there's the take home too.
Yeah,
You can-
that's a different type of ketamine. It's like, yeah,
Is it
it's
high?
not ketamine. Like, it's a letter. I can't remember what letter it is. And then ketamine. It is an offshoot of ketamine.
So like one of the research chemicals we used to do?
Yes.
What was the one that you used to get that was like ketamine? That was fire, bro.
That was methoxetamine.
Methoxetamine for the people at home.
It
Methoxetamine.
made me teleport.
Oh, dude, I would put it into a hypodermic needle and I would shoot it into a vein, a main one, usually on the left arm or right arm. And all I remember about that experience was that it always came on with the loudest, and that was it, bro. And you felt that permeate through like your existence.
Remember when you argued the 2C, though?
I remember I shot up some 2CE, yes. And I thought it was ketamine, and it was so intense. It was like doing DMT exactly, but with a body load from hell. Like
Yeah,
a
I
good
came
move.
home and you were like, God was talking to me.
Oh yeah. For at least 1 hour in it, like all the eyes, all the multitudes of eyes, and that was
experience sponsored by Willie D.
Willie D. Dude, have you talked to David in a while?
I talked to him probably like a year ago.
Man, dude, he's got the kid with Marky. That's definitely his kid. That kid looks just like him. Damn. And then doesn't he have 3 kids with what's her name? Oh, Julianne, dude. Yeah.
Crap.
And she's so hot, bro. I think she's so fucking hot, dude. Every time I talk to him, he does not seem like the happiest guy. And I always think, you got a hot ass wife, that'd make me happy, but maybe not. Maybe it would not. But I think we're gonna wrap it up though. That was a fucking good show. Yeah, so
for sure.
everybody, what I need you to do is like, share, and subscribe if you enjoyed this podcast. Please support. Also, you can. Oh, you want to plug yourself? You want to plug any of your stuff? How can people find you online?
So you can find me on Instagram at OZ1 HUNNIT. You can find the studio dark web. It's dark web studio on every platform. So you can find it just like that.
Smart. That's it?
That's it.
All right, SoundCloud, anything? I don't know if that's even a thing anymore.
No, I mean I got my Spotify. It's OZ100 is my